Listener, I got to tell you, I'm early for the session today, but it's fortunate because the light in the room that I record this in is just so, it's delicious. And there's a sunbeam just catching my mouth just perfectly right now. No other part of my face is lit except my mouth, which is perfect because that's all I'm going to be using for the next hour. I'm going to have to chase the sun a bit, so if my signal breaks up in the middle of this interview, you're going to know why. But my God, if you could see my mouth right now. If it looks as good as it sounds, you're looking at it correctly. This is SmartLess.
SmartLess.
I actually was on a flight once, and we started down the runway and like started to speed up, and they had that thing. Remember, they used to sometimes they had the camera on the front of the plane so you could see the runway.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and it was like a whatever big carrier going down the runway and then slowed down and then peeled off. Like, and it was like, whoa. And the pilot's like, well, we got a bit of an issue here. We're going to go back to the gate here and take a look. We sat on the plane for like 90 minutes. And he's like, we start to pull back from the gate. And he's like, okay, we think we got it taken care of here, so we're just going to give it another shot. And I'm like,
no.
Give it another shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
what do
terrible.
you-
Isn't it strange how you never meet the pilot? I mean, it is, your life is 1,000% in this person's hands.
Yeah.
When would you ever put your life and the life of your family in anyone's hands that you haven't met? And you're going to do that for a few hours.
Hang on, let me just think.
God.
When would I ever put my life or that of my family? in
That's
the
rhetorical.
hand?
That's rhetorical.
Oh, that was rhetorical.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, that's so interesting. I have a little fear. We talked about that last time about the turbulence and stuff like that. I have
Yeah.
a little bit of that.
Yeah. Looks like
But-
you have a fear of waking up, too. What are you still... I mean, it's
And
not
hair
early.
gel.
It is early to me. I just
Do you have a
had
fear of
breakfast.
hair product?
Hey,
I have no product in my hair. I just had
Yeah,
a
it
bagel
looks
with
real
cream cheese.
flammable up there.
Flammable?
Yeah, keep it away from flame.
what are we at days-wise from seeing Skevo? Like from the last one to the next one, where are we at? What's the...
That's the guy who cuts his hair, Tracy.
Yeah, I just saw him last week. Yeah, he's great.
You just saw us? Okay, you saw him last week.
Skev.
Like on a
We call him
bus
Skev.
bench? Or you weren't in the salon?
And he had scissors.
No, I was not in the salon.
No, you weren't.
I was on a photo shoot.
You're on a bus. Oh, you're on a photo shoot.
First of all, let me just say, it's 9:30 in the morning. It's 9:30 in the morning. This is one of the earlier records we've ever
I
done.
kind of like it, though.
And so far, I got to say, we're feeling it.
yeah,
Right? It's
I like
kind
it.
of low energy. It's like breakfast energy.
Now, listen, I would say this because I want to get to our guest, but Jay, everybody's got a real relaxed vibe. You got a real relaxed hoodie on today with no tee underneath.
There's a tee. It's a
Is this sleepwear?
it's a limpy tee. It's a limpy tee. Oh, and it's also the same color. Look at that. You have me in my bedwear.
Okay.
But this is what I was going to say before. I don't know why I thought of this. Scotty and I started doing this at night where we open the door.
Remind me
even
who
though summer's
Scotty
kinda
is
hot.
again, real quick.
And tell me what you do at night.
We open the door, and even though it's kind of hot, we open the door and we put on the fan. It reminds me of being a kid when we didn't have AC.
God, what a great story.
And then make a bowl of ice cream and watch a movie.
Hashtag relatable.
But I had a
Hey, man.
no,
Your
but
very last episode, Sean.
Sometimes we don't eat at night just so I can really relate to all the people who are starving in the world. I don't get-
and then I have a bowl of ice cream or something cool. But last night I had a whole box of Swedish fish, and it didn't stay inside me.
Didn't stay inside you.
Huh, so
Trying to
wait,
think.
let's do the math. So, but usually those things. Now, wait, are you sure it wasn't the back end of the box you bought at Hollywood Bowl?
No, because I
You bought a
had another
second box?
Yeah.
Buddy, you're
Shauna,
gonna.
you barfed? You barfed last night?
No, it came out the other way.
Oh, well, then that's just natural. You don't need to tell me. I assume that all food you eat is going to come out the other, just for what it's
Well,
worth.
it didn't stay inside me very long.
And doesn't it create a plug? Those things, those gummy
the
bears.
opposite. I'm the
it's
opposite.
Come on, why are we going? I'm not surprised you and Scotty did that last night because I know how you are. I know you always.
he's always got a fan.
But you
love
open the
fan.
doors, you put the fan
he loves
on.
a fan. He
Yeah.
loves a fan.
Yeah, it's so good.
Always
The
has time for a fan. Hey, listen. Speaking of
Yeah.
fans, I'm a fan of our guest today.
Oh, nice.
What a great segue.
Thank
That's
you so
nice.
much. I'm trying to win Segway of the Year. I think they're going to do it at the Webbies next year. I've been a fan of this person for a long time, and the reason is because this person has done so much in film and television as a director, as a writer, but primarily we know him really for his incredible breadth of work. And this is, and I don't want to embarrass this person, but this is, this term you don't throw around very lightly.
Uh-oh.
This is an actor's actor.
Ooh.
This is somebody who's done it all. This is,
Is this a storyteller?
this person cannot be, this is a storyteller, cannot be defined. He is a movie star and he is a character actor. He is all of these things combined. I swear to God, it is one of the most incredible. This person has had so many different stages to his career and done so many amazing things. And I don't really know him that well. We met a couple times.
And you're not saying like what movie or anything because we'll get it right away.
Well, yeah. Well, here, once I start going, and the list is so long that it's got its own page on Wikipedia for his filmography.
No way. Now I'm getting nervous.
His first
Me too.
film was Animal House. Then I'm going to jump a little bit just to try to throw you off.
Jamie Widows?
JFK, A Few Good Men, Apollo 13, Sleepers.
Is this Mr. Bacon?
Patriot Day. Then I'm going to go
Is this
back
Mr.
to
Bacon?
Whoa.
a bunch of, but the thing that really shot him to superstardom was a film that we all still love and adore. Footloose. Cut Footloose is Mr. Kevin Bacon.
Wow.
The incredible Kevin Bacon. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm trying to unsee Sean's bowl full of Swedish
Yeah.
fish.
All the fish swimming out of his colon.
Oh, so is Scotty. Scotty's in the corner crying somewhere.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, it's so cool to see you.
Hey, man, welcome.
I haven't seen you since Will and Grace.
I know.
How have you been?
And I've been good. And I can't tell you how many times I'll do that walking through the airport thing, Sean, and people will come up to me and say, "Do you know what the best thing you ever did was?" And it'll be Will and Grace, and it doesn't necessarily pop into my head as that was one of the options. I mean, I had a great time doing it. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah,
but
you're
yes,
like,
people that really made an impression on people.
You're like, you're gonna have to narrow it down because my filmography is like 1,000 credits. So let me tell you what I think the best.
Hey, you know what's so funny? I was just talking about Footloose the other day, and is it true that Tom Cruise was almost up for that part, and you got it, or something like that?
Probably, yeah, probably. I mean, I think all the young dudes were up for it.
Going at it.
It was just one of those things,
Yeah.
So here I am on SmartLess bucket list. So cool. Well, all I could think. My wife said, clearly they have run out of important celebrities. They've made their way down to you after how was it been 1,035 episodes or something like that?
No. First of
Which,
all,
by the way, I've listened to every single one of them. I listened to every single fucking episode.
Oh my God.
Yes,
That's not true.
it's absolutely true.
Kevin, that speaks less to how the quality of our show and more to your profound boredom, I think.
So, Kevin, I've had the good fortune of bumping into you just a couple of times, and I'm always just like kind of buzzing after I finish saying hi to you and your wife. And you guys are just always so kind and nice to me and pleasant to even the person you were talking to before you talked to me and the person afterwards. And where do you think that, like, were you always like that? Or does this come as a result of you both being in this business for so long and have such a well-earned appreciation for your longevity and is that why you're so kind to everybody?
I love being an actor, and I feel just a tremendous amount of gratitude to be able to do what I do. And when it comes to being kind to people, I know. I kind of feel like that really is like. I think my mother was very much, like influential in terms of that kind of stuff. I think my dad was somebody who was very driven, and I kind of got the success thing from him. The drive.
Sean's dad was driven.
Yeah, my dad.
Sorry, that was such a softball.
Thanks, pal.
Sean,
I don't let those go by.
I was not planning on tossing that one to him.
No, my dad was the driver. He wasn't driven.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
have to get a screeching tire sound effect on this
He was
podcast.
driven away in a Mazda.
Now that I've listened to the show when I didn't even question what you were talking about. I know. Okay.
That's true.
Clearly, I knew exactly. Like,
Good test.
all you had to say was Sean's dad was, and I knew where it was going.
But you know what? We should have known something was up when he bought an MG. Remember those cars, the MGs? Yeah, he did. He really did.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
we're like,
boy.
Yeah, what is that? And we're all like, can't eat. And he's like, I bought an MG.
Nice car. That's cool.
Should have known when he bought new luggage.
Yeah.
So your mom set a good example. Dad was a little bit more driven.
Yeah, my mom set a good example for compassion and being kind to people and stuff like that. And
That's nice.
and listen, I love like to meet people that do what we do and to say hi and connect. And I have a certain kind of separation in a funny kind of way from our industry. This weird kind of like I've never felt 100% sort of in the community in a weird kind of way. And it's like when I listen to you guys, I'm like, geez, I want to be, baking cookies with Jennifer Aniston or, playing pickleball with Ryan Reynolds or whatever it is. It's like I listen, I go, shit, that sounds like fun. But, being like stay in New York and stuff like that. So when I do run into someone like any one of you guys, I'm genuinely excited. It's like, it's not something that I do in a normal course
Well,
of my
Jason's
day, so.
very interested. Jason's interested. He asked you that because he's like, how? That's so interesting to be nice to people. Like, how would I get there? Like, he wants to be as well. So he's, right, Jay? It's aspirational for you.
Yes, I just can't crack it. No. Do you? Is it hard for you to keep that pleasantness up? Just walking the streets there in New York, because I would imagine.
It is because I know what Jason's saying.
Let me finish
Because you
the sentence, because he's so recognizable. He's been, as you said, in everything, and that is an incredible accomplishment. His longevity is stunning. So I'd imagine you can't walk into a room, a restaurant, a subway car, anything without someone wanting to talk to you, especially if you have this big flashing green light up of like a smile and like, hey, I'm approachable. Come on up and take a picture.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Does that get tough for you because you're so known?
I don't walk around, honestly, with the approachable smile on my face. I have the opposite. I walk around with the opposite smile. It's with the opposite.
Consciously?
It's, I mean, well, just over years of doing it. And this is what I think,
Well, first of all, you've been famous for 40 years. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So you got to get used to it eventually. And I have no one to blame but myself. And 99% of being famous is good. Fuck, people give you shit. They tell you, people stop you and say, I love you. It's like to be told that somebody loves you.
Yeah.
That's like gold,
Yeah, I would imagine you get that a lot. Like you're a very, very, very well-known actor, very famous actor, but you're not a celebrity. Like I feel like the celebrities are the ones that when they're walking down the street, people take a picture because it's like an animal escaped the zoo. Like, I got to get a shot of this. Like, look who's walking down the street.
Right.
I imagine people that come up and talk to you are like, hey, Kevin, I loved you on Will and Grace. Hey, keep it going,
Exactly.
And then off you go, and you don't really get hassled that much.
Yeah, so it does get a little bit much, but like I say, it's all my fault. And I just have to know that when I leave the house, that it's, that's gonna be a thing. I'll tell you the one thing that definitely has changed, though, is that when I became famous, out of 1,000 people, one person had a camera. Right. And now, out of 1,000 people have a camera. Only one person actually knows how to use it. So it slows things down, just
more autographs.
in life. Yeah, nobody gives a shit about autographs anymore, except for those guys that I call the blue men, who are the guys that they always have you sign with a blue Sharpie, and they have just stacks of
Right. Don't
stuff
personalize it so they can
at
sell
the
it.
airports and stuff like that.
Sean knows a bunch of blue men, but it's a different.
David Cross knows a bunch of blue men too.
That's true. But you know what? I feel bad, Kevin, because now we've blown up your spot like you're walking around with a scowl, but people now know that underneath you're such a nice guy. So they're like, oh, that's just his walk around face. I'll go up and say hi to him now.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I don't want to stop being able to move.
Yeah.
And that's why I love New York partly, is because it's a city where if I stay out of the neighborhoods that are super touristy, people just don't fuck with you because they're too busy. They're just kind of like, they'll say, how you doing? But that's it.
Right.
I've always got to say, over the years, I've seen so many. I've seen, you've been just part of our sort of cultural fabric for a long time. And any photo, I have to admit this to you, I think you've got. This is crazy. I think you've got great style, and I've always thought nobody rocks a fucking jean jacket like Kevin Bacon.
That's right.
I've thought this for years,
My
man.
jean jacket.
Get it.
If I'd
Nobody-
known I was going to wear my jean jacket, and I forgot.
I love a
jacket,
jean
the
jacket,
messy
and
hair.
nobody does it better than you, dude, ever.
And you still look 17 too.
I know, it's amazing.
It's just
Yeah,
it's
what's your
wonderful.
deal? Why do you look
Yeah.
so fucking young?
Well, he's not eating fucking chin chin every night, Sean.
Speaking of, we went Scotty.
Swedish fish.
yeah,
Swedish
he's
fish.
not bleeding Swedish fish out of his ass.
Jesus Christ.
And they were red. They were
Give
red.
yourself a break.
Let's get a message from our sponsor, Swedish Fish, real quick.
I still eat them knowing that's what they do to me.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Thank you to our sponsor, Solo Stove, for supporting the show. And I am so excited that the cooler weather is here. I like summer. I'm a fan. I like everything that it's about, getting out on the beach, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? I like it when it gets a little cooler. Maybe that's the Canadian in me. But one of the things I like to do is I like to be in the outdoors when it's a little bit cooler. And I don't know, I feel like fall is kind of magical. And that cold weather kind of brings us together in a way. And with the smokeless fire pit from Solo Stove, creating some of those cool moments where we're all together, it's easier than ever. You can enjoy all the warmth and comfort of a fire pit, plus portability, quick setup and cleaning, and best of all, no smoke. So, you build a perfect fire, you go out on a thing, you do a bonfire, all that stuff, great. But guess what? Smoke. You're getting smoke in the eyes, you're going, white rabbits, you do whatever it is that you think, but nothing gets rid of the smoke. But guess what? Solo Stove, so little smoke, you'll wonder how there's so much fire. How about that? That's the new, where there's smoke, there's fire. No. With Solo Stove, where there's no smoke, there's a really great fire. Build lasting memories around a Solo Stove fire pit. They're so confident that you'll love it. They offer a lifetime warranty and a 30-day free return policy. Prepare for your best outdoor memories yet and save big during the Solo Stove Fall event. Plus, use promo code SmartLess at solostove.com for an extra $10 off. That is solostove.com, promo code SmartLess for $10 off on top of the fall event deals. Hurry, the fall event ends November 10th. Hey, SmartLess listener, we get support from ZipRecruiter. Did you know there are currently over 2.4 million podcasts in the world, including the one you're listening to right now? And it takes a team of people to bring these podcasts together. Our team, we got Bennett, we got Rob, we got Michael, we got just, an entire team. Plus, we have a whole plus of people who make this thing happen, even though it seems like it's so easy. Needless to say, hiring the right people for these roles is important, and whether you're hiring for a podcast or for your growing business, there's only one place that makes it easy, ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/smartless. ZipRecruiter uses its powerful technology to find and match the right candidates up with your job, so you can easily review these recommended candidates and invite your top choices to apply. Additionally, ZipRecruiter has a complete suite of tools that makes it easy to filter, review, and rate your candidates. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So if you're a fan of this podcast, boy, I don't know why you would be, but if you are, and you want to try ZipRecruiter for free today, you need to remember our special URL, and that is ZipRecruiter.com/smartless. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/SMARTLESS. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Now, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. I don't know if you guys can relate to this or not. Some of you might say, yes, I completely identify with that. And some might say no. But for me, sometimes I go through these phases where I'm having an issue with something and I get fixated on it. And I have a really tough time letting go. I remember somebody telling me this once, this idea of, they used to hunt, years ago. They used to hunt for monkeys and stuff. And what the hunters would do is they'd put these holes in the trees and they put nuts and berries in there. And the monkeys would go and stick their hands in and grab a fistful of nuts and berries. And then the hunter would come up, ready to trap it. And the monkey couldn't let go, couldn't get its hand out of the tree. And all it had to do was let go of the nuts and berries. And it wouldn't. He'd tell that story, he'd look at the audience and he'd say, what are your nuts and berries? What are you having a tough time letting go of? And that always stuck with me. So I think that sometimes I get in a loop where I'm stuck on my nuts and berries, these things I can't let go of. One of the best things that you can do to help find your solution to something like this is to talk to somebody. And it's the absolute best thing I have found in my experience that you can do. So if you are thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient and it's accessible and it's affordable and it's entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey and switch therapists at any time. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/smartless today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/smartless. And now, back to the show.
Hey, Kev, can I ask you something?
Yes.
No, hey, whoa. I don't think it's Kev.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not sure it's Kev.
No, you can
Sean.
Kev me. You can Kev me.
My brother's name is
I don't
Kev.
actually like Kev. Listen, I'm going to tell you. This is the truth. I can't stand the name Kevin.
Really?
I didn't like it when I was young. I don't like it now. Kevin, if you look at movies and scripts, and even in the UK, they use it as an insult. He's a Kevin. It's like a
It's like a Karen.
Is that the male Karen?
It's like a Karen. It's like a Karen. Exactly.
It's like a Karen, but it's also like my name's Keith and his name's Kevin and I'm a plasterer and he's a plumber. It's like that kind of thing
What?
too, I think. Yeah. It's like real sort of Tottenham.
Kevin, my brother's name is Kevin. That's why I default of Kev.
My point is that I do like the name Kev.
You do like Kev.
So,
Yeah, okay.
So you're allowed to Kev. You can Kev me all you want.
What about K, like KB? No?
KB. KB's great.
Sure.
All right. So my question is, and Kevin, we can totally cut this, but I'm only asking because
hard hitting.
Because when I saw it in the news, I was like, oh, my heart went out to you. So we can cut this if you want. But the Bernie Madoff thing, when that happened to you, and I know it was years ago, but I can't imagine what that was like going through that. Like, because I saw it, I was like, wait, Kevin Bacon's affected. I really did feel so badly.
I'm the dummy who doesn't know that story.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, that
Just
is the
lost
story.
a bunch of money in Madoff. Yeah, that's the story. Yeah. We had most of our money in Madoff.
Oh,
Yeah, there's obvious life lessons there. You know, if something is too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Right.
Yeah.
And when something like that happens, you look at each other and you go, well, that sucks. And let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. We've made it this far. Our kids are healthy.
Yeah.
We're healthy.
Yeah.
Let's look at the, what we have that's good. We can still both work. And And yeah, I mean, certainly, you get angry and stuff. But I have to say that, that dude, there were a lot of people who were much worse off than we were.
Right.
Old people, whose retirement funds were completely, decimated.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be somebody that's going to have it a lot worse than you.
Yeah.
And whatever, the cliches all, work, whatever, it doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. And, we just rolled up our sleeves.
Right.
There was also a story. I remember reading this thing that a lot of people were made whole by that in the end. Did you guys recoup any of that? Again, we can cut it, but were you guys get anything back, or was it?
It's very it's a complicated thing to explain, which would just be too. I'll be happy to tell you about it someday, but be too deep in the weeds. But basically, yes, we got sort of like a portion of some money back, and there was also a lawsuit and stuff like that. But the thing about it is that it looks like a certain amount of money, right? There's the money that you put in to something, and then there's the money that you've, in theory, gotten, accrued with interest over the years. But that's just that's not real. That's just the number that was on a piece of paper, right? Because it was it was not a real thing. So so you have to really just kind of switch your whole idea about Matrix and stuff like this. I think people will be not happy to hear me whining about money, but
but I will say this, just listening to the way you talk about it, and it makes I read a great article, in anticipation of us talking today, from talking about you in reaching like having a second wind and stuff, and the article was from 1994. Which was almost 30 years ago. And I thought, to me, it sort of it reinforced this idea that I have, that you're a guy who's able to kind of move on and adapt and change. Again, you came out, you were in the biggest movie, you were in Footloose, you were in the cover of People magazine, you did a bunch of big studio movies, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to start doing interesting roles because I want to work with directors who matter to me. Yeah. And reading that from 30 years ago, and you've continued to do it. Yeah. And you've gone like, you know what? I'm going to do a TV series. I'm going to do a broadcast series. And now you're doing this cable series, Sitting on the Hill. You've like consistently done stuff, I guess, challenge yourself. And people would say also reinvent yourself. But I don't know. That term is misleading. It's like reinvent to them. To you, you're just growing, I would imagine. Yeah. What is that thing inside you that makes you just kind of wake up every day and go, now I'm going to go this way. Now I'm going to go that way?
I guess it's, I don't know, I'd love to tell you that it was a grand scheme, but it really is just a question of throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks. And, and also just kind of, when I started out, there was no plan B. So I was just like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I moved to New York.
And it's what you love to do, so.
It's what I love to do. I love it. I love acting. I don't tire of it at all. The time between action and cut, to me, is still just the best.
I love
that. The rest of it, I've lost patience for, I have to admit. The things that sort of have to go along with it. But the actual time where I'm on that set, the cameras are rolling, I'm with other actors, tossing the ball back, I still love it. And I think that, you like to say that, there's no secret to longevity. Longevity is the secret. If you just, just fucking hang in there, and if you suck when you begin, you're going to get better eventually,
Yeah.
Right.
What was the first paycheck you got for an acting gig?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was about 15 or 16. I was still in Philly. I moved to New York when I was 17, when I got out of high school. But I was still in high school, and so I heard about from a friend of a friend or something that there was this job to be a kid in it was like a ROTC recruitment video. and it was going to pay, I think, $450 or something like that. I was like freaking out. I was like, this is the greatest thing. Now, my mother was a serious anti-war activist and civil rights activist. Took me down to D.C. when I was a kid, marching on Washington, and clearly, this was after the Vietnam War had ended, but it wasn't so far on the heels of Vietnam, and she was super anti-military. So I got this gig, and I said I'm taking it, and she didn't speak to me for like a week.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, she was furious.
At 15.
She was furious. Yeah, but at that moment, I did that thing that I think it's Robert Bly talks about, in Iron John, where you steal the key underneath the queen's bed.
Yeah.
It's a rite of passage of a young man to, walk away from his mother. And which, we all hopefully do eventually.
I was around the same age. I got my ear pierced. My mom didn't talk to me for like a week.
And then...
and that's your moment, right? And you go, no, I want this.
That was his moment.
Yeah.
I really, it was
One.
a nipple piercing. I think a nipple piercing really sealed it, and had your dad put it in drive, and that was that.
Right.
I'm surprised she could hear you over the Erasure music that was playing.
Wait, Kev, go
Sorry,
ahead.
Kevin.
Yeah, so that was it. That was the first gig, and I went and I did it, and it was awesome.
How do you and Kira have you maintain such an incredible success story as far as marriage goes? You guys been together so long with two very vibrant careers, never working in the same city. I'm sure there's tons of overlap with your schedules. It's got to be an effort. I mean, to the extent you're comfortable talking, details and strategies. What's the secret there?
Mm-hmm.
It's a difficult thing to do, I'm sure.
Well, you know as well as I do that over the years you learn the power of no, and that's the question that I am trying not to answer. So I will respectfully decline to answer that. But I'm also going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I won't answer it. And the reason is that what happens is you say something like, "Well, she's my best friend,"
Right,
or we just whatever the fuck it is, just some fucking quote, and then people use that quote, and you take 34 years of marriage, and it gets reduced. To
good point.
something that either whether it comes out of my mouth or not.
I love that. It's a great answer, though, man. I totally agree, especially now more than ever. I've had instances where like stuff's happened in my life and then it goes like, it just becomes like a click link. And you're like, my life is now a fucking click link? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm just curious about that whole sort of distance makes relationships difficult.
Astronauts.
Military families, professional athletes, anybody that's astronaut. Great point, Will.
Because
I mean,
their
the distance
distance
couldn't be
their
greater.
distance,
Yeah, exactly.
it's really far away.
But
Super far.
But because you guys don't work together a ton, right? You have worked together for sure. No?
We have. Yeah, I've directed her. She's directed me. We've done a little bit of acting together. But, I think that you're making the point. It's true. People think that because of the distance, and distance is hard, and because you have two actors, I think in a lot of people's minds, they think, well, they're two actors, so the first thing their mind goes to is like sex scenes or love scenes or kissing other people or all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then and so that's what goes into people's minds. And then they think, well, most Hollywood relations break up. But here's the thing: most marriages break up. Marriage sucks. Marriage doesn't work. Let's face it. The statistics are absolutely terrible.
That's our clickbait.
Nope, I don't care.
We got it. Thanks, Kevin.
You can't. Right, exactly. There you go. I'm fine going on the record with that because these are just numbers. You can't prove to me that two dentists have more successful marriages than two actors. I don't know that statistic really.
Right.
That being said, I will say that we do planes, trains, and automobiles to try to get to each other as often as is physically possible.
Yeah.
With the emphasis on physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the kids growing up, I'm sure the kids put in another element of complication and challenge, and that's tough to do as well, right? I mean, I'm all this is just projection, but it's again for the military families and the professional athletes and all that distance, that vagabond,
the astronauts.
yeah, and the astronauts.
You guys know you've been married a long time.
Yeah.
The kids. This is what I think.
I have not.
Yeah, I mean, I know. My kids. Well, they were raised in New York, and I think that there's challenges to having two, famous people as parents that are just inherent, and I wish that wasn't true. In a funny kind of way, you think to yourself, well, Kira and I have no one to blame but ourselves for being famous. But the kids, it was kind of thrust upon them in a way, right? They didn't ask for this, and there is a weird moment where they start to, for the first time, they start to go. You're holding a kid's hand, and someone comes up and wants to, take a picture or an autograph. You have to let that kid's hand go,
Right.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, what the fuck? I don't even know this guy.
Right.
Who is the? Why is this stranger? Stranger danger. By the way, you've taught them all stranger.
Yeah, but that's the moment. It's an important lesson for them to learn when you let their hand go, which is what you're saying is, my celebrity is more important to me than you. And they need to know that.
Just take a break. Daddy's got to do something. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I just got back to where I was on the East Coast all summer. We're out on Long Island, deep in Long Island, and it makes Jason crazy. And so
it's so blue collar.
And no, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And
you just running the bowling alley out there. And
no, I work on diesel engines.
Yeah.
I work on
Good for
diesel
you.
engines. So maybe I already told you this, but I was in the
He's
car.
a lobster fisherman.
Yeah. Checking my pots every day out there. And so I'm getting in the car with the kids in town, and this guy comes up and blah, 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 wants to talk to his wife and wants to take a picture and saying, hey, man, by the way, the best part is now people come up and they're like, hey, tell Bateman, blah, 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 and Sean and Scotty. I'm like, hey, you don't know them, so shut the fuck up. But they go, the guy says all this stuff. So then I get in the car, and my son, who's 12, just turned 12, he's behind me, and I pull out of the parking spot in town, and it's kind of quiet in the car, and he just goes, hey, Will, you're a legend, man. And I go, hey, man. And he starts hassling me from the back, mocking me from the back seat. You're the greatest, man. Like this. And I'm like, dude, I know. It's weird. I'm sorry.
They keep you real.
And they keep me real. And I was like, but I was also happy that he had that kind of great kind of perspective on it. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of great, and he made fun of me, which is great.
Oh yeah. They get a really serious bullshit meter very, very early on because they can see it, from the people that are surrounding their lives. And the other thing is, I feel like to a certain extent, you can't beat yourself up too much about it because that's what you do. That's what we do. So other people have other challenges.
Yeah.
We will be right back.
SmartLess is supported by Helix, which is really great news because Helix mattresses have become the mattresses that I sleep on now. I was introduced to them a couple of years ago, and I can't imagine myself switching back. Sleep is so important to me, and it should be to you too. You hear people talk about it all the time these days, sleep hygiene. What do you do? How much time do you get? How many hours do you get, and what kind of quality sleep do you get? And for me, one of the biggest contributors to that is your mattress. And I love my Helix mattress. It has completely revolutionized my sleeping. And I can't imagine, I don't know. Jason and I both got the Helix Midnight Luxe mattress, and Sean got the Helix Dusk Luxe mattress, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, there's a Helix mattress out there that will suit you. Helix Sleep is a premium mattress brand that provides tailored mattresses based on your unique sleep preferences. Now, the Helix lineup includes 14 unique mattresses, including a collection of luxury models, a mattress for big and tall sleepers, and even a mattress made just for kids. Is there anything worse than going to a mattress store and laying down on a mattress that you know that hundreds of people have tried before you, while an overeager sales associate asks you probing questions? No, there's nothing worse. So order a Helix mattress online and receive easy, no-contact delivery. How will you know which Helix mattress works best for you and your body? Well, you'll take the Helix sleep quiz and you're going to find the perfect mattress in under 2 minutes. You should never have to compromise on comfort. Helix has mattresses with cooling technology that help regulate your body temperature, whatever the season. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listener. Go to helixsleep.com/smartless. With Helix, better sleep starts now. SmartLess listener, we are supported by Lost Debate. In today's hyper-polarized media environment, it often feels like we're forced to pick a side. The echo chambers in mainstream outlets or the conspiracy-heavy corners of social media. And if you're not satisfied with either of those options, come join the Lost Debate. It's a podcast for anyone who wants to escape their bubble and engage with ideas from across the spectrum with the kind of good faith discussions we need more of as a society. Lost Debate is hosted by Ravi Gupta, a former Obama staffer and school principal and superintendent who spent years on the front lines of America's political battles working to preserve our democracy. And it's also hosted by Ricky Schlott, a Gen Z New York Post columnist and libertarian fighting to protect free speech for her generation and beyond. Together, they cover all the latest news, arguments, ideas, and trends with balance and nuance. So they don't have shouting matches. They have constructive debates that sound less like hot takes for clicks and more like more like conversations between real people. So come join the conversation. New episodes of Lost Debate drop twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday. Find Lost Debate on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you get your shows. SmartLess listener, this episode is brought to you by Zelle. When anyone sends you money or if you need to get paid back, always ask for Zelle. With Zelle, the money goes straight into your bank account. You don't have to download another app because it's probably already in your banking app. It's in over 1,600 different banking apps, and it works even if the sender banks somewhere different than you in the U.S. So this is what happened to me quite recently, and this is an example of how we request payment from each other with Zelle. So I went and played golf with a friend of mine in a situation that I thought that they were paying for the golf, and they were not. And it turned out I had already left, and so they requested that I pay them back for the golf, which is fine. I just didn't realize before. The point is, I don't want them to feel bad. At the end of the day, I owed them for the round of golf. Again, which I'm fine to do. I don't want to get into whether or not I thought they were paying because we're going to get off track and that's not important. The point is, I owed the money. And that's a great way to use Zelle. So what did I do? I was able to pay them back. If you have to get money to somebody that you owe money to, Zelle can help you do it in a really easy way. So look for Zelle in your banking app today.
And now back to the show.
So Kevin, how was the summer? What did you do anything super exciting this summer, or was it nice and chill and relaxed and just played that guitar in your shot there?
I was spending a lot of time. We have a farm, and so I was spending a lot of time with the animals and riding, pretty much every day. And
That's nice.
And I was out with my brother touring. I have a band with my brother. And
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, tell us about that.
On the road now. So we've been playing. We were on one little run, and I got the vid, so we had to shut down. And then we picked.
How
those
was your time
up.
with that? Easy or?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but it was not. I didn't go to the hospital or anything. Yeah. So that was great. And then now we're out doing a little bit more playing. I did a movie. Movie, maybe a couple of them. I can't remember.
I know, this is amazing. Like, of course he did. I like the way he's like, I did a movie. Yeah, of course.
Maybe I did too.
I know, maybe I did too. Can't even remember.
It's just a 3-month period recovering here.
What was the thing for you who are the people that you kind of looked up to, like creatively? Who are the guys, like when you were a teenager, you're like, I like this shit, or I like that stuff. Like,
Who was the
the
man?
directors or actors?
Yeah.
What was
Who
that
was the
stuff?
Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, who is your Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, sure. Well, for me, it was, okay, so I moved to New York, which is kind of when I think of my career as starting, around 1976.
Did you do a
And
lot of theater there?
I did a lot of theater, yeah, a lot of theater.
Here he comes.
And Animal House, I think I started in 1978, something like that.
Was that your first film, Animal House?
That was my first movie. Yeah.
Wow.
But I can tell you that the people at that point, to me, it was the movies and the people surrounding Sidney Lumet,
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola, Michael Cimino. So De Niro and Pacino and Meryl Streep and Raul Julia and John Casale and all of those gritty kind of like Dustin Hoffman. I mean, really, one of the most
Character
influential
actors.
things, for me was I saw back to back. We had a $1 in Philly. We had $1 second run theater. It was you could see films for $1, and back to back. They had The Graduate and Midnight Cowboy.
Wow.
And when I saw Dustin in that, I looked at Midnight Cowboy first. That was the first one that I saw because they were all both in second run, and I went, wow, where'd they get that homeless guy to be in the movie? And a cowboy. Where'd they get a cowboy and a homeless guy? How did they get them to actually do this? And then right after
Cut to
that,
the preppy guy. Yeah.
cut to the preppy guy, and I went, holy shit, that's what acting is, and that's
Yeah.
the thing.
Did you have a group of friends, though, that at that time in high school who were in that same mindset as you, or were you like alone in this like your own thing?
I was alone in my own head about that. Yeah. The only thing is I had this one kid who I was friends with, who was wealthy, and his father had something that was unheard of, which was a giant home video system. And I think it couldn't have been VHS. It must have been some other like really
Betamax must
early.
have been.
Or like Laserdisc. Remember Laserdisc?
No, this is before that.
And
This
that
is
was
the
way
70s,
before
man.
Laserdisc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the
Jesus,
70s.
Sean.
Yeah, and he
Wrecked Kev
turned me
story.
on. He turned me on to. He was obsessed with Brando and Clifton Dean
Yeah.
and the switch in the style of acting that existed there. So he was the only. He wasn't an actor, but he was a strange kind of movie buff. So I kind of started to get into that stuff. But yeah, those were my people.
With all of that, and these guys will make fun of me because I ask this question all the time, but with all of that experience, that set experience, all the hundreds and hundreds of directors you've
Have
worked
you thought
with.
about directing?
No, he has directed, and
I
my
know,
question is,
brother.
do you not like it as much as acting? Given all that you've absorbed, do you not find it that it demands all those things that you've absorbed beyond just the acting?
Well, someday I want to, really sit you down and sound you on, on your great work as a director, but also in your great work as directing yourself, which is something that I find really kind of incredibly. I've done it a little bit. I've directed City on a Hill, but I find that really kind of like mind-blowing that people can do that well.
But you're aware of how you're performing while you're performing, right? You're sort of self-directing the whole time, aren't you? When you do your thing, yeah.
I am. I think it's less about knowing if I got it or not, and more about just the overwhelming consumptive thing
Right.
that happens to you when you have to direct and you have to answer, questions from dawn to dusk and then
Gotcha,
beyond,
yeah.
just having all that kind of responsibility, and then also being able to 100% throw yourself into the role. I would like to direct more. But as you know, when it comes to a film, that's an easy year of your life.
Yeah.
Done. Right.
Yeah.
So I keep getting these acting gigs that I go, oh man, but that's like I haven't been that guy yet. So
Yeah.
I keep going back to acting, but It'll happen again.
Do you ever develop? Forgive me because I think I should know this
Kevin.
answer.
I don't know if I can
Kevin.
forgive you until I hear what it is. Oh, you're asking Kev. Okay.
Yeah, he's forgotten his name.
Mr. Bacon, do you develop stuff do you develop your own thing for yourself, like roles for yourself, and do you enjoy doing that, or is that like a big headache?
I love that. I love
do?
that. I really do. Yeah, I do. I'm always looking for books, stories, ideas. Yeah. We have something that we're working on now. Kira and I are both involved in it. It's a little bit of a secret, but we're, I really do. I like the development process. I mean, it can be a little, it can be a little frustrating, as you all know, when you put a lot of time into something and you go out, you take it around town, it gets passed on all over town, which happens. Yep. But we still try to keep it going.
Okay, so now you've done so many different types of character and whatever, and I'm going to ask you the most basic question: good guys or bad guys? What do you like playing more?
Well,
because you do them both so fucking well.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I don't care if the character is well written, complicated, interesting character. If he's a good guy or a bad guy, I don't care. The thing that I don't do is worry about what the character does and how it's going to reflect on me as a person. Yeah. Like, I don't care at all what people think of me image-wise. I really just want to be known for the work. It's a little bit of a hassle in this career, as I've come to learn, is that there is this other thing outside of the work that I almost wish didn't even exist. You know, if I could just go and present company excluded, if I could just go and just say the lines and hit the marks and not have to do any of the rest of it, I would. But when it comes to taking on things that are people that do horrible shit or I've done a lot of terrible things in the characters I've played. That doesn't scare me at all. So it's not so much that the character's good or bad as it is, are they complex? Are they different than the guy that I just played? Is there just good shit to play? I mean, you guys know.
Right.
Do you ever get close to thinking about, you know what, I've done enough of this. What about full-time music now?
Yeah, Bacon Brothers.
You ever get close to that?
No, I still really love being an actor.
Yeah.
And
but the music you love doing, right?
I love the music. And we've just put out new music. I've been doing a lot of writing. I continue to write. It's one of those things where what really keeps driving the band is not so much the desire to. People would find this hard to believe, but it's not really that I want to be a rock star fantasy. Definitely, that was in there when I was a kid, for sure. All my heroes had guitars. That was the deal when I was like in my early teens. But you write a song, and then you play your song for your wife, and then you play a song for your brother, and then you want to put it out in front of people, and then you want to cut it. So it's if the songwriting keeps coming, that's just really what drives it.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's you and your brother Michael, right? Is that?
Yeah, me and my brother Mike. Yeah. We put the band together probably in 1995. He's about 9 years older than me, and he's a musician. He's a composer. He's can arrange. He writes. He's got awards. He's like a classically trained musician. I'm just a plunker.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How many kids in your family?
6. I'm the youngest of 6.
I'm the youngest of 5. I have a brother named Kevin and Michael. Who are your other siblings?
Uh-oh.
Wow. We have 4 sisters. 4 sisters. My sister Karen, my sister Eleanor, Hilda, and Kira, she changed her name to Kira, spelled slightly differently than my wife, because my parents were terrible name givers, and they named her Prudence. And she was like, probably about, I don't know, 18 or 19. She was like, fuck this. Prudence, are you kidding me?
I wasn't going to say that your parents are terrible name givers. I was going to say, though, I remarked that both you and your brother, you go Kev, you like Kevin, he likes Mike instead of Michael and Kevin. So that's no.
No, they were not good. They were not good with the names. They were not good with the names. Now, our
What
kids,
were their names?
their names were Edmund and Ruth. Our kids are named Travis and Sosie, and you'll get a kick out of this. Both names came off of crew lists when Kira was pregnant. So,
really?
She was shooting something pregnant, and we found out she's pregnant. We just go down the crew list and pick a name.
Perfect.
No way. Jason, you can relate to that, right,
Sosie,
buddy?
Yeah.
S-O-S-I-E.
Sosie, yeah.
Sosie, yeah.
I know, and she's a great actress. She's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, she's doing
Yeah,
great.
I love her. I'm a big fan of her.
That's so awesome that you and your brother have this connection with something that you both love and that you get to do together. I love that idea that you guys have been sort of doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Man, I want to see you guys play.
I know.
I know we should.
Speaking of music, Sean, I can't wait to hear see your show. Is it coming into New York?
Oh, thanks.
Right?
Yeah, that's very nice of you. Yeah, Good Night Oscar. It opens it's at the Belasco Theater, and we open April 7th.
The Belasco Theater. Go to
That's so
Belasco.com
exciting.
right
Belasco
now
Theater
to get your
on
tickets for
April
Good Night
7th? Is
Oscar.
that what you
April
said,
7th.
Sean?
Opening the Belasco Theater.
April 7th,
Sean Hayes.
2023, I think.
Hey,
www.
listen, Kev.
Thank you, Kevin.
Kev, what about if you and Mike write a musical for Sean? That would be something, right?
There you go.
Come on.
Well, you'd have to be in it.
How do you feel about a rock musical? Or
Yes.
Do you like singing rock?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I'm
Sing
known
some
for.
rock, Sean, real quick
Yeah.
for us, just so we can get.
Bacon in the morning, bacon in the evening, bacon all summer night.
It's funny you're singing about bacon, but it seems like your brain is full of scrambled eggs because that was terrible. Hey, listen, Kev, we have
Horrible. That was horrible.
It was horrible. We've monopolized your time. I feel like we could talk to you for about 3 hours. You're just such a good dude, and
You're the greatest.
I wish our paths had crossed. We'd cross paths more, but hopefully we will in the future, man. You're a good dude, and you're so good at what you do.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for doing this, Kevin.
Been a lot
Kev,
of
thank
fun.
you. We love you so much.
What a blast.
Bye, pal.
Okay, talk to you
buddy.
soon.
Okay, pal.
Peace.
All right, man.
Bye, Kev.
Bye. He's something else, huh?
Yeah.
Old K-Bakes.
Love him.
K-Bakes.
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 Can we start
is
that?
Something else. Yeah, we're starting K-Bakes right now. By the way, if you happen to see Kev on the street, old K-Bakes, just go up to him and say, hey, K-Bakes, feel free. Because
We have got to start that. If you see Kevin Bacon on the street,
just,
hey, K-Bakes.
What up,
K-Bakes.
K-Bakes?
It's like cupcakes.
Yeah.
We need to bake cupcakes with his face on it.
Man, how many films has he done, Willie? You said a whole page is
yeah.
on.
He
It's
has his
crazy.
own.
I wonder if he's probably hit 100.
He has to.
I'm going to say
100 movies. So that would mean, he's been in the business since he was 15. What do you think he is now?
It won't list.
I mean,
it
if I'm
doesn't say the-
53, do you think he's 60 yet? What's his
Well,
birthday?
he looks amazing. No, I know how old he is, and you try to guess because he looks incredible.
Well, if I'm 53, then he might not yet be 60, but he's older than I am.
Sean, what do you think?
I was going to say late 50s.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
64.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so then he's been doing it for 50 years.
He's been doing it since 1970. What do you say? 1976 was his first acting gig. 1976 when he did that ROTC.
Right, so we're coming up on 50 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so that's two films a year. He's probably done 100 films.
I love when he was like, I think I did 2 films last year.
I know he can't. And
I think
so
that's
funny.
like a baseball player, 3,000 hits or something. I think if you do 100 movies, that is
There's
a
no way,
real award
100
for
movie
longevity.
and also television, and he's done series in there too.
Yeah.
But and the movies, I mean, he's worked with everybody. Barry Levinson.
There's
and
a
like
reason
just-
it's 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that about
You know what? I
anybody
was
else.
really happy that we didn't bring that up.
I was
because
too. I was very proud of us.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
how exhausted he is hearing about that?
Yeah, but don't you kind of want to talk about it?
I think he
did.
made up for it with the Footloose references.
Yeah,
I know.
Sean,
Well,
went,
and
Sean went straight away with the
I
And
Footloose.
the
know.
Madoff stuff. I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah,
guys,
what-
you're the
hey man,
worst.
do you lose a bunch of dough?
God.
Hey, this is a subject I'm sure you want to talk about.
Yeah, and in minute 5.
I
Hey,
was just
hey,
curious.
Kev, what was your biggest disappointment?
Way to warm up the guest.
What are you doing, Sean?
I thought I was actually genuinely interested. I'm sure there's other people that are genuinely interested.
What did Skeva when he got on the hair? Did he clip part of the brain out? What happened? Did he? Have you got a leak back there? What happened?
No, the only leak is my Swedish fish leak.
Yeah.
No, get a clamp on that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, everybody thinking about a buy?
Here comes Will.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, it's just kidding.
Oh, it's got something to do with the
If
Swedish.
you have all that Swedish fish and it builds up in the back there into a big lump, you might want to get it biopsy. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
SmartLess is 100% organic and artisanally handcrafted by Michael Grant Terry, Rob Armjarv, and Bennett Barbaco.
SmartLess.
Our next episode will be out in a week wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can listen to it right now early on Amazon Music, or early and ad-free by subscribing to Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app.